right, welcome back to Q Live. I'm Chris Walsh. We're here in Palm Springs, California with Tom Murray, who heads up the Future Ready stuff. Thanks for coming.
Howdy, everybody. It's good to be with you. Thanks for investing the time.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Back to you, my Irish friend.
Yes, that's right. I'm clearly more prepared than you are.
You were. I had to dress professionally today.
What, this isn't professional?
I don't know.
What are you saying?
Welcome. It's good to be at Q. It's good to be at Q.
It's great to have you here.
You know, on Wednesday, I was in Pennsylvania, and I shoveled 16 inches of snow, and I come here, and it's 95 degrees. Why do I live in
And why are you wearing a
But
jacket?
it's great. I got to look good, you know? I got to make this look good.
All right. Well, I'd love for us to first talk about Future Ready because obviously it's growing and more schools are getting involved, and I want to get an update on that. But some people still might not have heard of Future Ready. So kind of give us a quick update on how it got started, what it is, and then we'll go from there.
How much time do we have?
No. You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Future Ready is completely free. There is no sales pitch. It's originally geared towards school leaders, high-level school leaders. It was superintendents, assistant superintendents. Moving forward, which I hope we can talk about, we'll be changing some of that. But it's really working on how do we help schools transform, big picture, without selling them anything. We focused on leadership, and we focused on school culture. President Obama kicked off for us a couple years ago at the White House, brought 100 superintendents from around the country. They were doing amazing things, helped us to really kick it off. And then we really expanded. To date, we've got over 3,000 superintendents that have signed on to the Future Ready Pledge. It's hard to get 10 districts to do the same thing, not 3,000 of them, right?
So what does that look like? If I'm a superintendent and I pledge Future Ready, what am I pledging?
It's a great question. Signing a pledge in and of itself changes nothing. I'll be the first person to tell you that. However, it's taking a public stand to say, we believe in these things. So things such as coughing, things such as creating that culture of innovation, things such as high-quality digital resources, making learning more personal for kids, making professional learning more personal, breaking down the silos. So there's a 7-point pledge to say as a superintendent, we believe in these things. Our pledge signers represent over 19 million kids in our nation. And when you look at that, it's how do we take that stand for them to publicly say, we believe in these things, we're moving in this direction. And if I'm a superintendent and I can look, alone in California, I want to say it's about 380, 390 superintendents that have taken it to say, we want to move in these directions. We want to continue to make our schools modern and up to date with the world that we live in.
Very cool. Now, you just gave us a little preview right there of the future. You said where it was superintendents, but we're now doing something a little different. So tell me about some of the new changes.
Sure. So superintendents are certainly going to be core to the work that we're doing moving forward, but we've known since the get-go, it can't just be leadership teams. So let me back up. The reason we started with high-level school leaders is because every day, and we have for years, across the country, amazing things happen in all of our classrooms. We've got incredible innovation going on, but it's in pockets. To scale it, school leadership has to be on board. If you don't have leadership on board, it's not going to scale on that end. So we started there, but we also recognize there's rockstar principals that are leading the way, teachers and coaches that are doing incredible things. So coming up this year, we're going to be launching the largest aspects of Future Ready to date. And what we're going to be doing is strands, not just for district level leaders anymore. We'll be announcing it in about the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a Future Ready principals track, a Future Ready IT track for tech directors, a Future Ready coaches and lead teachers track for coaches, lead teacher, instructional, TOSAs here in California, a Future Ready librarians track. We started that at ISTE last year. We also are going to be launching 8 additional regional institutes, we call them, all brand new content, completely new from any of the other summits we've done. We've done about 25 events to date. These are all going to be brand new, and these strands are going to be specific. We also are bringing in about 15 practitioners for the different areas. So let me give you an example. Our IT director strand is going to be run by 2 current IT directors that are complete rock stars. Carl Hooker is one of the most innovative people that I know out of Texas. Vince Shivert was the CIO of the year last year for COSIN. They're helping to run that strand for IT directors. So at our events, there'll be strands for that, but then we're also working on ongoing professional learning opportunities for each of these groups through webinars, through chats, through ways we can connect socially and that kind of thing. So it's not just a once and done or a one-day event and done. High quality PD has to be ongoing and systemic, and we're trying to model that nationwide.
So it sounds awesome, and I've heard great things about the events. So make sure you try one of these out, but give me an example of something I would experience at an event. So you use the IT directors. What is it that I'm going to get out of that? What is it you're going to take me through?
Sure. When we look at any events, first of all, we want to model good PD. The last thing we're going to do is bring everybody in, talk at them for 6 hours
Like
about
this.
how they need to be personal with
You
their
won't
own
do
learning.
this.
No. So we want to model a lot of high quality experiences for them. Part of our biggest goals are to break down the silos that we traditionally see, when you have a tech director and a superintendent and a principal that aren't necessarily on the same page of what learning should look like in the classroom. We want those networks to occur, but we also want to break down silos between districts. You know, we've got to get to the point where we care as much about the kids across the highway as we do about our own to ultimately be truly successful. So part of those events are networking or connecting. They're high-level conversations. What do we want learning to look like in our classrooms in 5 years? It starts to identify that. How do we build high-quality professional learning for people to take ownership? So part of it's wrestling with those questions, but then part of it's also using experts from around the country that have been leading this work for a long time. Maybe it's a superintendent or a principal. What are they doing? How are they doing it? So we look at a lot of case studies of this is how this district transformed. And not that they're this wealthy district, they're 88% free and reduced lunch, and they've got all these needs, and really looking at very applicable, these are how districts are doing it, and then what do we need as a team?
So it's high quality conversations with other people interested in the same thing, and then going a step further and actually sharing those best practices.
Yeah, correct. And we also have sections that teams come together. So if I was a district team, 4 of us went, we would have time to reflect and say, like, what are our next steps in this area of whatever the gears are? With the Future Ready framework, which is all research-based, which is all grounded on, you know, what are our next steps with privacy? What do we have to do? What are we missing? And we give them that reflection time to really develop that systemic plan moving forward. Part of the issue that we're seeing nationwide, and there is a technology focus to this, is we're leading with tech in so many different districts. We're buying all this stuff, we're putting it out there, and then saying, like, what do we do with it? Now that we've got 5,000 Chromebooks, how do we change this? We've got to get away from that. We've got to make sure that we're using taxpayer money well, that we're making informed decisions that are grounded in evidence, grounded in research, so that way we're using the money well and it becomes sustainable long term. So that way we know what actually works with ed tech. And so we look at the research, like, what is it that actually works? What's a total waste of money? We're doing a lot of it. And so moving through that's really helpful.
Which is a huge value add, right? I mean, so often we come to great conferences like CUE, we go to the exhibit hall, we look at all the new bells and whistles, and we snap it up because it's visible, right? Parents can see it, especially in some communities, parents pay for those things. But we really need to start by understanding what we want to get out of that from the very beginning and think very critically about that. So it's a huge value add.
Yeah, Future Ready really focuses from the get-go on high quality learning. How do we create authentic learning experiences? Technology is certainly a part of that,
right.
But this is about teaching and learning first. This is about kids first in that environment, and then how do we work collaboratively? I've got to give a shout out to our partners. CUE is one of our partners, but we've got about 60 partners. AASA for our superintendents, NAESP, NASSP for our principals, AFT, NEA, Teach for America for our teachers. Like, they're all on the same page. When do we ever see that, right?
Yeah.
So we pull together all the tools, all the resources from all the organizations, tag it to the Future Ready framework, which is again research-based, and then now provide 550 free resources to help transformations for districts.
Awesome.
No cost at all.
It's awesome. Now, you mentioned CUE as one of the partners. So you've been hanging out here in the hallways, been going to sessions, been leading sessions, et cetera. I'm curious what you're taking away from this experience, what you're seeing here that's innovative that you think other districts, site leaders, principals, as well as district leaders should be considering to themselves.
Sure. So first of all, I have the opportunity. I probably go to about 30 conferences in a given year. I'm constantly on the road. I will truly say that CUE is one of the best run, most dynamic conferences. And no, they didn't ask me to say this.
No.
Most dynamic, best run conferences with, we can worry about that later.
Yeah.
With high octane leadership, even here at CUE, that's really leading the way. And I truly mean that. Being able to see a lot of conferences, I compare on my own notes what it looks like. But the reason is, what invigorates me, what excites me, here's the difficulty we all have. On the outside of these walls, they're saying a lot of negative stuff about what we all do. Yep. That world out there is not talking nicely about our world in here. But here's what I know. The educators that I see here, the leaders that I see, the teachers that I see are amazing people working incredibly hard for kids, who love and care about kids, who will do whatever it takes for them to be successful. That's what invigorates me. That's what gets me excited, because I know that I can trust my own child in those environments with those people. And when I get to walk through CUE, I get to learn from others, from teachers. I get to learn from superintendents on what they're doing to create better learning environments and things for kids, so that ultimately I can then in turn help another district.
Is there anything that sticks out in what you've learned here at CUE?
In under a minute. You know, I do a lot of work with leadership and related to school culture and high-level leaders. And today 4, 5, 6 superintendents, high-level leaders that are breaking through walls, breaking through boundaries, trying to break through the chains of poverty and things like that to create truly authentic learning experiences. And I continue to get blown away by what they're doing that is having an impact on their community, their businesses, in their community, and those kinds of things as well. So I'm
awesome.
impressed by the people in California, that's for sure.
Yeah, and on that note, I'd actually say that this year in particular, we're seeing more superintendents and principals, I think, than I've ever seen at CUE, which is fantastic because as important as we want the classroom conversations and the teacher curriculum side of things to be robust and meaningful and enriching, we need great leaders who get it, right? Who really get it and can build environments, right, that make that happen.
You just sold Future Ready. Like that, you actually said it better than I did from the get-go.
Where's my kickback there?
But, and on our end, it's exactly that. Is as admin, and I was an admin for 10 years, like you're often the ones that are doing the training, that are doing the PD, but they need that as well. And so how do we push admin to grow? How do we push admin to create those cultures of innovation in their schools? And CUE is a great spot to network and connect with other superintendents from around the state or other principals from around the state that might have some of the same struggles and same issues, but together we're better for the kids we serve. Apart, we're going to become stale and burn ourselves out, but together we're better for kids.
It's awesome. It's great stuff. Remind everybody where they can get all the Future Ready info and sign up for all the things that are coming.
So 2 pieces. Number 1, futureready.org has the links out to everything. It is all totally free. There's no sales pitch. I know I've said that like 5 times.
Yeah.
But
You know what they
people are
say
like,
about
"What's the
somebody who
catch?
says
What's the catch? What's
there's
the
no
catch?"
sales
Right?
pitch. It's clearly a sales pitch.
FutureReady.org has all of that. They links out to one of the key things is also the Future Ready dashboard. We've had over 1,000 districts start to use that, the various assessments.
Nice.
It's a systemic planning tool. In the past month, we've aligned it all to the wording of ESSA, particularly for Title IV. So when you, from a funding end, it is the number one, it was the only tool recommended by the U.S. Department of Education for districts to use for Title IV funding moving forward because it's research-based, it's free, and districts own their own data. And so those are great tools and resources for free that they can use to help their transformation moving forward.
There's a theme here for free.
But it's also very high quality.
Yeah.
It's not free and junk. It's free and it's high quality because of all of our partners and the amazing work they do.
It's great. Well, you guys are doing some great stuff. You're moving fast. It's exciting to hear you talk about the next chapter, what's coming for Future Ready. Keep up the good work, man.
Awesome to be here. Thank you,
All right.
CUE.
All right. For everybody here at the CUE Conference 2017, I'm Chris Walsh. We'll see you soon.